A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 24 verses 42 to 51. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. The Son of Man's arrival will be like that. 2 men will be working in the field. One will be taken, one left behind. 2 women will be grinding at the mill. One will be taken, one left behind. So stay awake, alert. You have no idea what day your master will show up. But you do know this. You know that if the homeowner had known what time of night the burglar would arrive, he would have been there with his dogs to prevent the break-in. Be vigilant just like that. You have no idea when the Son of Man is going to show up. Who here qualifies for the job of overseeing the kitchen? A person the master can depend on to feed the workers on time each day. Someone the master can drop in on unannounced and always find him doing his job. A God-blessed man or woman, I tell you. It won't be long before the master will put this person in charge of the whole operation. But if that person only looks out for himself, and the minute the master is away, does what he pleases, abusing the help and throwing drunken parties for his friends, the master is going to show up when he least expects it and make hash of him. He will end up in the dump with the hypocrites, out in the cold, shivering, teeth chattering. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflections on the Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 24 verses 42 to 51. The Gospel today speaks about the coming of the Lord at the end of times and exhorts us to be watchful, to watch. In the early church, many believed that the end of this world was close at hand and that Jesus would return soon. Today, many people continue to believe that the end of this world is soon to happen. As the year 2000 approached, many were worried and anguished because of the proximity of this end of the world. Many times, these eschatological readings are used to frighten people and oblige them to take up some religious practices. The problems of the early Christian communities were very much similar. They waited for the second coming of Jesus for long. There were people who no longer did any work because they thought that the end was so close at hand, within a few days or few weeks or so. Then why work if Jesus will return soon? This is why St. Paul had to intervene and say, anyone who does not want to work has no right to eat. Others remained looking up at the sky, waiting for the return of Jesus in the clouds. In general, the Christians lived with the expectation of the imminent coming of Jesus. Slowly, as period of waiting prolonged, they began to lose patience and became tired of waiting and would say, "He will never come back." Up until now, the coming of Jesus has not arrived. How could this delay be understood? It is because they are not aware that Jesus has already returned and lives in our midst. The Lord says, "I am with you always, till the end of time." He is already at our side in our struggles for justice, for peace, and for life. Jesus says this very clearly. nobody knows anything regarding the hour of his coming. Concerning this day and this hour, nobody knows anything, neither the angels or the Son, but only the Father. Reading this passage carelessly can lead us to a misunderstanding of the text. There are chances that we understand God as a punishing God who would condemn those bad people to the fires of hell, will flog him severely and sentence him to the same fate as the hypocrites, where there will be lamenting and grinding of teeth, reads the end of today's gospel. Is it not true that God is also presented as a merciful and forgiving God? Will such a forgiving God permit anyone to be condemned? Here, Matthew is making use of the scenes of punishment common in the earlier Persian Empire, of which his readers were well aware. Use threat to encourage compliance is a literary technique applied well by the evangelist here. We believe in a forgiving God and not a punishing God.